the Lord. Welcome to DYD, Daily Youth Devotion. I'm Evangelist Pamela Price. How you all doing today? Listen, we are blessed to see another day because our God is a good God. Yes, He is. Listen, we have an awesome lesson, and we are kind of at the end. We're getting to the end part of it, and it's called what? Come on, somebody, tell me what it's called. God's what? God prepares the children of Israel for the promise, right? God is preparing the children of Israel for his promises because he's promised Abraham some things, and it went down to Isaac, and it went down to Jacob, and now they're here and they have multiplied. The family has multiplied, the lineage has multiplied, and so God is going to give them the Canaan land, but he has to prepare them. He already brought them out of Egypt. And by the way, we're on part 5. Okay. God has already brought them out of Egypt, and now these are his people. He's going to prepare them because, like I mentioned last time, their mind got to change. They got to think another way now because they got a God who can do great things for them. Now they got to think, they got to have faith in God. Yes, Jehovah. So last time we left off, we kind of really got into this, and Moses had brought the new tablets that God had written on. Remember that? Because he ended up breaking them things, right? The 2 tablets that first got broken because they had got off into sin. And so now he has the 2 tablets. He went back up there and made atonement for the people. And now God is renewing the covenant with them. And I think we got to that place where God is going over that covenant again with them, because apparently they forgot. Yeah, because, you know, they were trying to worship some gold calf. And he's going over this again, so you won't get this all twisted. And so, you know, Moses, last time we left off, we said, then the Lord said to Moses, write these words, for according to the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. So he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. And remember we talked about that? He neither ate bread nor drank. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant of the 10 commandments, because he was up there for another 40 days and 40 nights. Okay, so now let's get into the next portion. We at the shining of Moses' face, because guess what? Moses is coming down. He's been with God. Now the glory of God is going to be upon him. Now let's go in. Let's do what we do best. We do what? Come on, somebody. We get in the word of God. Let's go in. Let's start the 29th verse of the 34th chapter of Exodus. And it says, now it was so when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, and the 2 tablets of the testaments were in Moses' hand. When he came down from the mountain, that Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him, talked with God. It says, so when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. They were afraid to come near Moses because his face was shining. It says, then Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moses talked with them. And it says, afterwards, all the children of Israel came near, and he gave them as commandments all that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. And it says, when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. What? He did what? Put a veil on his face. But whenever Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he would take the veil off until he came out. So when he was in God's presence, he took that veil off, right? And it says, and he would come out and speak to the children of Israel whatever he had been commanded. And it says, and whenever the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone, then Moses would put the veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him. Let's talk about it real quick. Here, Moses is, whenever he would go in the presence of the Lord, the glory would be on his face would shine. That's awesome, isn't it? Yes, his face would just shine, and the people would be scared of him, you know. But when they're saying that whenever he would go and speak with the Lord, speak with God, that he would take that veil off, because, you know, when he come in to talk to us, people would, you know, just the average person. Just would be scared, like, oh my God, this is kind of scary, right? But he had such a great relationship with God, he would take that veil off. Isn't that awesome? All right, let's go in just a little deeper. Let's go into the 35th verse. And now we're getting down to some portions where I'm going to have to probably break some things down. And let's see. Now, here is they're talking about the Sabbath regulations. Here, God is about to prepare them. You know, he's teaching them his ways. So this is about the Sabbath. This is about the Sabbath. Let's go in. Then Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said to them, these are the words which the Lord has commanded you to do. Work shall be done for 6 days, but on the 7th day shall be a holy day for you, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. You shall kindle no fire throughout your dwellings on the Sabbath day. So let's talk about it. So here, God is establishing some rules about how he wants to, for them to rest on the 7th day. You know, when I grew up, the time I grew up, the way it was is people usually worked from Monday to Saturday, but on that Sunday, we really did rest. But you know, greed comes in where they want the wheel to be turning 7 days a week and not to rest. And but God had told his people, I want you to rest on the 7th day. You better not do nothing. Prepare your food on Saturday or whatever. I think their Sabbath day was on Saturday, but prepare that food the day before. So on the Sabbath day, you need to rest. And so let's move in a little bit. Let's go to the 4th verse. All right, let's go in. And Moses spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, take from among you an offering to the Lord. Whoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it as an offering to the Lord. Don't we bring offering? Gold, silver, and bronze, purple, blue, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen, and goat's hair. They can bring different things, right? Ram skins, dye, red, badger skins, and what's called acacia wood. Oil for the light, and spices for the anointed oil, and for the sweet incense. Oxen stone and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. So let's go to the 10th verse. It says articles of the tabernacle. Now, so before those were the articles for the offerings for the tabernacle. Now we're moving into the articles of the tabernacle, and it says it goes on to talk about all who are gifted artisans among you shall come and make all that the Lord has commanded. The tents, it says the tabernacle, its tents, its covering, its claps, its boards, its bars, its pillows, and its sockets, the ark and its poles with the mercy seat, and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles, all its utensils, and the showbread. So basically, here, God is teaching them different things, what they should do. And stuff. I'm going to need some artisans, people to work on the tabernacle, people to work on those things I just talked to you about, the poles, and I need gifted men who I have gifted, right? And so, and I'm going to jump a little bit, and then on the 29th verse, it says, the children of Israel brought a free will offering to the Lord. All the men and women whose heart was willing to bring materials for all kinds of work, which the Lord by the hand of Moses had commanded to be done. So these people were willing to give. Isn't that awesome? Whatever they had, all the things that he listed, yarn, gold, whatever they needed, the people looked in their stuff and they gave. Isn't that awesome? And watch this. I'm going to just kind of read off some of the different things that they gave, and it'll save us some time because, I don't want you to go to sleep on me. I want you to wake up. So let's go in. So some of the things that they did, he talked about the artisans called by God. Here God takes the name off the people. He goes in and say, tell them I need this person to work, because he had gifted them. He had gave them the talent for that. Isn't that awesome? And then in the 36th chapter, he began to, like I said, talk about the work. He says, and Basilia and Abhalia, and every gifted artisan in whom the Lord, I said, in whom who? The Lord has put wisdom and understanding to know how to do all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary shall do according to all that the Lord has commanded. And watch this. Now, watch this. It says, the people give more than enough. Those people, when the Lord told them to, I need this, and Moses would talk to them, they gave more than enough. Do you know they had to even ask them to stop giving? Yes, they gave that much. And you move on into the story, say, the building of the tabernacle. Then all the gifted artisans among them who worked on the tabernacle made 10 curtains woven of fine linen and of blue purple and scarlet thread. And I mean, when you really look at this, it had to be really nice. God gave them the plan on how he wanted it done. Like I told you, God is preparing the children of Israel for the promise, but they have to build the tabernacle. Yes, and you may have heard about the children of Israel. This is what they went through. These are the things I'm teaching you that they, God had done with them. He had prepared them. He gave them how he want the tabernacle to look. Now let's move on to this. He said, making the Ark of the Testament. You know, the Ark of the Covenant, you may have heard of that. I'm sure you have. I went over it before. He gave them the instructions on how to make the Ark of the Covenant, with the angel and the wings and all that good stuff. And then as it moves on, it says, making the table for the showbread. It even goes into that, the table of the showbread, making the golden lampstand, and it goes into making the altar of incense. Wow. This big, ain't it? Then it goes in and it says here, making the altar of burnt offerings. They made that. Wow. What they're going to make the sacrifices on, what they're going to lay it on, right? Okay. And then it says here, making the bronze laver. They made that. Making the court of the tabernacle. Wow, they made that, right? Making the court of the tabernacle. This stuff has to look really nice. Let's go on. This says here, making the garments of the priesthood. Let me kind of just give you an example of the garment right here. Let's go to the 39th verse real quick. It says, verse 1 says, here we go. On the blue, purple, of the blue, purple, and scarlet thread, they made garments of ministry for ministering in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as the Lord had commanded. All right, they're making their garments for the priesthood. I'm sure you all have probably seen the Catholic priests, and you may have seen some in your denomination when they wear the robes or different things. Really, they're copying off, they're trying to copy off the priests that God had, of the garments and the different things he had for his priests. Did you know that? Yeah, they're trying to copy off of that. God detailed how they wanted. He wanted them to dress, the garments. He said, and then the making of the ephod. He made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. God gave them instructions on how he wanted the tabernacle, how he wanted the priest to dress. Everything they got from instructions they got from God. And it goes on to say, making the breastplate. Whew. He gave them instructions on how to make the breastplate. And then watch this, making of it says making the other priestly garments. He gave them instructions in that. And then it says here, watch this, I'm going to read the 40th verse of the 39th chapter, because we're going to almost be out of time here. And so listen, I skipped a lot because I'm trying to keep your attention, because I need you to pay attention. Because this right here is important. I know sometimes, sometimes you're reading something that's really important and you're like, do I got to know that? Yes, you need to know this, because guess what? These things are going to connect to some of the things we're going to go over later. So you got to pay attention. So let me read these particular verses at the end, 39, 42 through 43. It says, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So the children of Israel did all the work. They did what? All the work. Then Moses looked over all the work, and indeed they had done it as the Lord had commanded, just so they had done it. And it said, and Moses blessed them. They had done all the work. Now, real quickly, I'm going to recap, because I had left off, and Moses had went up on the mountain, right? Moses had went up on the mountain for how many days? Come on, somebody shout it out for me. 40 days and 40 nights. And is this his first time or second time? Come on, somebody. Somebody said this second time. Yes, it is. He's up there. Why? Because the children of Israel had what? Sinned. Yes. And so he had to go back up there again, and he had broke those tablets, right? And so he went up there, and when he went up there this last time, they said his face was what? His face shined, right? His face was shining. Yes, yes. Why? Because he was with God. Oh, you go in the presence of God, somebody gonna be like, where you been? What's wrong with you? You just look like you glowing. You ever heard that? You look like something. What's going on? Because you've been in the presence of the Lord. Yes. And so he had been in the presence of the Lord, and the people was a little scared of him, fearful of him. And but whenever he come back, he had to put a what? A veil on his face because of the glory of God. But when he came back, he had some important instructions for the children of Israel. God had given Moses the instructions on how to make the tabernacle and the things that go in the tabernacle, the garments for the priests, right? He gave them, listen real quick, he gave them the offering for the tabernacles. He told them what type of offerings they were to bring, huh? He told them what he wanted the people to bring. And this was before. He told them, because guess what? God's going to need the people to give in order to make the temple, the tabernacle. Yeah. To the material, the things that they're bringing. They're going to need these things to make the tabernacle. That's why we give, excuse me, that's why we give offerings to the church. Why? The church can't just function on its own. It needs the offerings to sustain itself. That's why, believe it or not, that's why people pay tithes and offering, because God's church is sustained by his people. Yeah, when you work, you pay 10% and you give an offering, because the church has to still pay light bill. It has to pay. Some people, churches have mortgages because their church is not paid for, right? And they have to keep the church going. You know, it's just not beautiful on its own. Somebody got to clean it up, right? It has to be sustained. The pews that you're sitting on, or the chairs that you're sitting on, they had to buy that. And this is the same thing with the children of Israel. God is getting the material from them. And he said, listen, I want you, when you give, I want you to give with a free heart, give willingly, that you want to give. Don't just give grudgingly like, oh, that made me sick. But when you give with a free heart, because God is going to repay you. You give unto him, he's going to bless you. And so they're giving, and the Lord is going to bless them, but they get all that they need to make these things. They are the articles of the temple. They gave more than enough. Did you know they had to stop them from giving? You got to hold up. They've brought so much stuff. Wait a minute now. We got too much now, Moses. I need you to stop them. And they had so much, and they were successful. They were able to make all the things that they need for the temple, for the house of God, for what God was doing. You know, the children of God, and because these are God's chosen people, they're separate from the world. So God has to take care of them. God is not looking for the world to take care of them. And that's the same thing with the church. You know, sometimes people come against, offerings, and they, want to bash the church, but the church is sustained by your giving. By your giving to it, God is going to keep his ministry, keep his church sustained and up and running through your tithes and offering. And this is the same thing here. They are giving into the ministry, and God is able to use what they are giving to build his house. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? The ephod, God teaches, even God is so smart, he's given the priests what he wants them to wear. Their garments, underwear, the linen thing. He gives them instruction. I want your garments to be made of linen. He tells them the type of material they even need to make the garments with. And guess what? God is not a cheap person. God like the top material, no cheapness, right? And he gives them how to make the priestly garments. Listen, I'm out of time. I'm gonna come back one more time for this lesson, and I'm sure you are enjoying this because I am. Listen, to God be the glory. I'll see you next time. God bless you. Parents, thank you so much for allowing your child to watch DYD. It is my heart's desire that every child be ministered to. Parents, I'm going to need your monthly financial support in order for this ministry to continue daily. I just believe by faith that God will lay on your heart an amount that you can consistently give into this ministry. Trust me when I say that the daily investment of the Word of God into your child's life is priceless. I've done this for 21 years and I've seen the results. Will you partner with me? Go to the donation page, and from there, you will be a blessing to this ministry. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.